Federal government shut down on Tuesday. This is after the Senate failed to pass a last-minute funding bill, forcing hundreds of thousands of federal employees into furloughs and delaying pay for essential workers. This is quite a momentous occasion. It's actually the first time that the shutdown has happened in the country since the year 2019. The official website of the White House now features a clock showing the duration of the government shutdown. We are going to be talking this afternoon to Professor of International Relations at the University of the Witwatersrand, Professor John Stremlau, to find out the significance of this and exactly what it is that has led to the federal government shutdown. A very good afternoon to you, Prof. Welcome to Africa in Business.
Thank you, Tammy.
So I did say in the introduction that the last time this happened was in the year 2019. What is it that has led to this shutdown this time around? And in essence, what does a shutdown mean?
Well, it's very difficult to figure it out. I've never seen the U.S. more polarized between the parties, and I go back to the dark days of the Nixon administration and the Vietnam conflict disaster that was unfolding and polarized the country. But this hatred between the two parties is really quite remarkable. And Chuck Schumer, the head of the Democrats, did go along with the one big beautiful bill that was passed narrowly back 3 months ago. But this time he's drawn the line, and he thinks he's on firmer ground. It's the issue is health care, and Obamacare is very popular, but it only covers in terms of need 10% of the population, but a lot of other people avail themselves of Obamacare. Nate Silver, the pollster, has argued that you should have taken tariffs to heart because tariffs affect everybody, but never the cost of living. But nevertheless, Schumer and Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, agreed that it would be a knockdown, drag out over health care.
So how will the shutdown impact services in the United States and indeed globally? What are the impacts that we're going to be seeing?
Well, you know, Trump is Trump, and he delights in narrowing and furloughing the government. This infamous DOGE Act that a South African Elon Musk, former South African, the world's richest man, engineered in the early weeks of the Trump administration, and it raised havoc all other through the government, and it closed down AID, which was very bad for Africa, and it was very disruptive. Trump delights in that because he feels that everybody is against him, and that he won narrowly in the closest election, which we observed in 2024. But nevertheless, he delights now in a close down, and I think that the Democrats are spoiling for a fight. So it could go on forever. The last one that you mentioned in 2019 went only 35 days, and that was a lot longer than the 7 days in 2018.
So what is it going to take to put an end to the shutdown?
I'm laughing because I don't know, and I just heard the tail end of your story on Nigeria, and we honeymooned in my wife and I in Lagos in 1960s, and so that was the Civil War, and I could have written that script for Nigeria. I mean, there's a little bit of a parallelism because the U.S. is a complicated country, and like South Africa, but it's terribly polarized now, and it was they fought a bitter civil war, and race is at the heart of it, and it's always been, and the liberals and illiberals in this time around, I think are fighting it out because they see the minority majority country demographically coming up in 2024 and 2044, and the Republicans are bent on state capture, and the Democrats in the Republicans the Democrats in the cities are opposed to that, and we'll see what happens. But I despair because Trump is a disaster.
And we'll leave it at that disastrous note. Professor John Stremlau, we thank you so much for your insight, and we'll continue watching and see how long this actually goes on for. Thank you, sir.
Yes, it will be going on.
Thank you. That's Professor John Stremlau. He is the Professor of International Relations at the University of the Witwatersrand. Professor John Stremlau. They're taking us to exactly 24 minutes after 4 p.m. Central African time. Now, what we know about this shutdown is that it will, at least temporarily, stop some U.S. government services. It also means that the salaries of hundreds of thousands of government employees will be put on hold as well. People who are on low-income food programs, potentially they might be affected. Some air travelers might be affected as well. And service members reporting for duty without getting paid. Those are just some of the reports and potential repercussions of this federal government shutdown. As we heard in 2019, that one lasted about 35 days. How long will this last, and what will it take in order for the shutdown to be lifted? We'll continue watching that developing story for you right here on Channel Africa.